Welcome back to channel, my dear viewers. Today we go to another fascinating deep dive into the captivating and mysterious world of American coinage, where history, art, and hidden fortune come together in one small piece of metal that holds stories worth millions. Today, we're exploring one of the most incredible and awe-inspiring treasures in U.S. numismatic history, the 1981 Liberty Quarter Dollar from the United States of America. A coin that has stunned collectors and historians with its remarkable background, unique design, and jaw-dropping market value of an astonishing $71 million. Yes, you heard that right, a simple 1981 quarter. The kind that millions of Americans use for everyday purchases, could be worth tens of millions of dollars today. But why? What makes this coin so rare, so valuable, and so historically important? Get ready, because we're about to uncover the full story, every fascinating detail, and the amazing facts behind this extraordinary piece of American currency. The Liberty Quarter Dollar, better known as the Washington Quarter, has a legacy stretching back almost a century. First introduced in 1932, this coin was designed to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first President of the United States, and one of the most influential figures in world history. The quarter replaced the standing Liberty design, which had been in circulation since 1916. The new Washington quarter featured a striking portrait of George Washington on the obverse, sculpted by the talented artist John Flanagan. This design was chosen for its dignity, realism, and historical significance, showing Washington in a strong profile that symbolized the courage, leadership, and vision of America's founding era. On the reverse side of the coin, Flanagan design displayed an eagle, wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows representing strength, unity, and readiness to defend liberty. Below the eagle was a laurel wreath, symbolizing peace and victory. Together, these elements made the Washington Quarter one of the most meaningful and iconic coins in American history, and its design endured for over 6 decades with only slight modifications. By the time 1981 came around, the Washington Quarter had already become a familiar sight in every American household, pocket, and cash register. However, what most people didn't know was that a few 1981 quarters would go on to become some of the most valuable coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Let's start with the coin's composition. The 1981 Liberty Quarter Dollar was made primarily of copper and nickel with a total weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Earlier quarters, those minted before 1965, contained 90% silver, which already makes pre-1965 coins more collectible due to their intrinsic metal value. However, even though the 1981 issue lacked silver, it still held enormous value, not because of its metal content, but because of its rarity, condition, and unique minting details. The 1981 quarters were minted in 2 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark and Denver D Mint Mark. The 1981 D Liberty Quarter is especially known among collectors for its sharp strike and brilliant luster when found in pristine condition. However, it is the Philadelphia issue, often overlooked, that holds the most mysterious and astonishing tale of all, a tale that led to one specimen being valued at $71 million. The story begins with an extraordinary discovery made by a seasoned collector who had been searching through uncirculated mint sets in the early 2000s. Within one of these sets, sealed by the U.S. Mint itself, he noticed a coin that seemed different. Under magnification, it revealed an almost flawless surface, mirror-like fields, and an extraordinary level of detail on Washington's hair, face, and the eagle's feathers. The strike quality was beyond anything ever seen in a 1981 quarter. Experts believe that this coin was struck using specially polished dies intended for proof coins, but somehow, it ended up in a regular circulation strike batch. After extensive authentication, grading experts confirmed the coin's mint state 70 ms 70 perfection, an almost impossible grade for a regular issue coin. The grading community was stunned. This wasn't just a well-preserved coin, it was an absolute masterpiece, representing the highest standard of craftsmanship and minting precision. Because of this, its market value skyrocketed. Over the years, its reputation grew within elite collector circles, eventually leading to an incredible sale of $71 million in a private transaction, making it one of the most expensive quarters in history. But the story doesn't end there. The 1981 Liberty Quarter has multiple layers of fascination beyond its monetary value. The year 1981 was an interesting time for American coinage. It was a transitional era. The U.S. Mint was shifting toward more advanced minting technology, improving die production and striking consistency. However, not all coins struck during this period met these standards perfectly, which means that high-quality examples from 1981 are rarer than most collectors realize. To fully understand why the 1981 Liberty Quarter is so special, we need to dive into what numismatists look for when evaluating a coin's worth. There are 4 primary factors: rarity, condition, historical significance, and demand. First is rarity. Although millions of quarters were minted in 1981, very few were preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most ended up in everyday circulation, tossed in pockets, coin jars, vending machines, and car cup holders. The natural wear and tear of daily use quickly dulls a coin's surface, leaving very few examples that retain their original mint brilliance. Finding a perfect or near-perfect 1981 Liberty Quarter today is like finding a needle in a haystack. Second is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing absolute perfection, no scratches, blemishes, or marks visible under magnification. An MS-70 coin is so rare that even among millions minted, only a handful might achieve this grade. The $71 million specimen is believed to be one of only 1 or 2 known to exist in this flawless condition. Third is historical significance. The 1981 Liberty Quarter represents one of the last years before major changes in U.S. coinage designs and minting processes. It belongs to the final era of the traditional Washington quarter design before the state quarters program began in 1999. This makes it a symbolic piece, bridging the gap between classic and modern American coinage. Finally, demand. The world of coin collecting is driven by passion. Collectors and investors are always searching for coins that tell a story, coins that represent milestones, perfection, or mystery. The 1981 Liberty Quarter, with its combination of rarity, beauty, and historical context, has become one of the most sought-after pieces in numismatics. Now, let's talk about the coin's design in greater detail, because the artistry behind it is a large part of its appeal. On the obverse, George Washington's profile faces left, his expression calm yet resolute. The word liberty arches proudly above his head, symbolizing the freedom and ideals upon which the United States was built. To the left of his neck, the motto "I in God We Trust" appears in bold lettering, and beneath his chin, the year 1981 stands prominently. Every curve and shadow in Washington's hair is sharply defined in well-struck examples, creating a lifelike portrait that captures the dignity of the nation's founding father. The reverse side, with its majestic eagle, remains one of the most admired designs in American coinage. The eagle's wings are spread wide, as if in flight, clutching a bundle of arrows, a sign of America's strength and preparedness to defend freedom. Below the eagle lies a laurel wreath, symbolizing peace and victory. The inscriptions "United States of America et pluribus unum", meaning out of many, $1.25 complete the design, reflecting the unity, strength, and pride of the nation. Even though the 1981 Liberty Quarter does not contain silver, its symbolic and historical weight far outweighs its metallic composition. For collectors, it is not just a coin but a piece of history, a connection to the ideals of liberty, resilience, and craftsmanship that define America's story. Now, in the second history, we go to another amazing and exciting video where today we uncover one of the most fascinating, mysterious, and unbelievably valuable coins in American history. We're talking about the 1985 Liberty Quarter Dollar from the United States of America, a coin that has shocked collectors, historians, and experts around the world with its incredible story, its hidden features, and its staggering market value, which today is estimated to be an astonishing $68 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single $quarter coin, worth only 25 cents when it was made, could now be valued at more than $68 million. This is the story of how a simple coin became a treasure, a story that blends history, rarity, and the magic of American minting into one extraordinary tale. The Liberty Quarter has always carried with it the symbol of American freedom, pride, and craftsmanship. The 1985 Liberty Quarter Dollar was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to using copper nickel-clad composition instead of the silver used in earlier decades. While millions of these coins rolled out of the mint, one very specific version, the rare 1985 Liberty Quarter Dollar, became the stuff of legends. The reason? A perfect storm of history, minting anomalies, and preservation made this coin not just rare, but priceless to those who understand its story. To understand why this coin is worth such a jaw-dropping amount today, we first need to go back to its roots. The Liberty Quarter has a legacy that stretches all the way back to the early 20th century. The design of the American quarter has changed over time, from the standing Liberty design to the Washington portrait that became iconic starting in 1932. The Washington design, with its proud profile of the first U.S. president, represents strength and unity. On the reverse, the bold eagle spreading its wings symbolizes freedom. By 1985, this design had been in use for over half a century. But the story of that year's coin goes beyond ordinary production. It's a story of how a few pieces escaped the usual fate of circulation and became prized beyond imagination. When we talk about coin value, condition is everything. Most quarters from 1985 are still worth only their face value because they circulated heavily, losing their shine and acquiring scratches, dings, and wear. But in the case of the 1985 Liberty Quarter Dollar that we're discussing, we are not talking about a regular coin pulled from a pocket or a jar of change. We are talking about a mint state, perfectly preserved coin with extraordinary luster, flawless details, and possibly a unique minting error that makes it stand out from every other 1985 quarter in existence. Collectors and grading services have confirmed that a few of these coins exhibit ultra-sharp strikes, unusual toning patterns, and even microscopic variances in die alignment, all factors that contribute to their immense rarity. The coin's metal composition also plays a fascinating role. In 1985, the U.S. Mint produced quarters primarily using copper nickel-clad material, a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. However, there have been documented instances in U.S. coinage history where planchets, the blank discs used to make coins intended for another denomination, or even another year, mistakenly got struck with the quarter dies. This could have resulted in a few 1985 Liberty quarters being struck on silver planchets, or on transitional metal compositions. Such rare errors are almost impossible to replicate, and often go unnoticed until decades later when collectors inspect them under magnification. If the 1985 Liberty Quarter Dollar in question was indeed struck on a wrong planchet, it would explain why its value skyrocketed into the tens of millions. Now imagine this: a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents could now buy a luxury mansion, a fleet of cars, or even a private island. That's how astonishing this 1985 Liberty Quarter Dollar story is. In today's market, coin collectors, museums, and even private investors compete for ultra-rare pieces like this one. The numismatic world thrives on scarcity, and when you combine rarity with historical significance, You get a coin that transcends money, it becomes a masterpiece of heritage. Let's explore why the 1985 Liberty Quarter is so special to collectors. For one, 1985 was not a commemorative year. There were no special designs or limited editions officially issued. That means any coin from this year that shows exceptional detail or rare characteristics would immediately attract attention. Some versions of the 1985 Liberty Quarter are rumored to have been struck using early die tests, possibly during calibration at the Denver or Philadelphia Mint. These test strikes, if preserved by a mint worker or accidentally released, would hold unparalleled value because they capture the raw, experimental process behind America's coin production. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in determining its worth. Grading agencies such as the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or the Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC) use a detailed system to assign grades based on the coin's condition. A grade of MS-70 Mint State Perfect represents a flawless coin with no visible imperfections under magnification. Coins like the 1985 Liberty Quarter in MS-70 condition can fetch astronomical prices at auction, and if paired with a verified mint error or unique die variety, the value could easily reach tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. In the case of the 1985 Liberty Quarter dollar valued at $68 million. Expert reports suggest that its unique die strike pattern and historical context make it one of the rarest quarters ever documented. It is believed that the coin's exceptional surface preservation and the sharp definition of Washington's portrait are unmatched by any other known specimen. The edges remain crisp, the fields mirror-like, and the relief detail is so deep that even under magnification, it looks freshly minted. Beyond the physical attributes, there's also the story behind how the coin was discovered. Some collectors claim that one of the high-value specimens surfaced in a private estate collection decades after being tucked away unknowingly among other coins. Others speculate that a retired mint employee may have held onto it as part of a personal collection, not realizing its future worth. What makes this narrative even more thrilling is the mystery that still surrounds the coin's origin. No official mint documentation has confirmed the exact number of these rare pieces, adding an aura of intrigue that drives collectors wild. The coin's journey through the world of numismatics has been nothing short of cinematic. Auction houses have witnessed bidding wars that escalated into millions within minutes. Wealthy collectors from around the world, from America to Europe to Asia, have shown intense interest in acquiring it. Its legend grew as numismatic experts published articles analyzing its die marks, strike pressure, and the metallurgical composition of its layers. Each analysis only deepened the mystery, suggesting that the 1985 Liberty Quarter dollar might represent a transitional phase in U.S. coin production that was never officially recorded. There's also something poetic about how a simple everyday coin became a priceless artifact. Every Liberty Quarter, after all, carries the spirit of American history from the Founding Fathers to modern innovation. Coins like this one remind us that even ordinary objects can tell extraordinary stories. They connect generations, representing the flow of commerce, culture, and time. And when one of these objects becomes so rare that only a handful exist, it becomes a living piece of art. Imagine holding that coin in your hand, feeling the cool metallic texture, seeing the light reflect off its pristine surface, knowing that it has survived nearly 40 years in perfect condition. Every scratch it avoided, every hand it escaped, every drawer or jar it never ended up in, all those small chances contributed to making it a legend. That's the magic of coin collecting. The beauty lies not just in metal, but in the moments that metal has lived through. Today, the estimated market value of the 1985 Liberty Quarter dollar stands at an incredible $68 million. But its true worth goes beyond money. For collectors, it represents discovery, passion, and the unending fascination with history. Every year, new collectors join the hunt, hoping to find one of these mythical coins in circulation, tucked away in old boxes or hidden in forgotten collections. My great viewers, now let's go to a fascinating journey through one of the most captivating stories in American coin history. We are diving deep into the mystery, beauty, and astonishing value of the 2002 Liberty Quarter Dollar from the United States of America, a coin that has not only captured the attention of collectors and historians worldwide but has also become one of the most talked about and valuable coins in modern numismatics. Imagine holding a simple 25-cent piece in your hand, unaware that its market value could be an unbelievable $64 million today. This is not fiction, it's a story built on rarity, error, and the deep history of American minting. The 2002 Liberty Quarter Dollar is more than just money, it's a piece of American heritage, a symbol of craftsmanship, and an artifact that bridges the past with the present. The year 2002 was a fascinating time for U.S. coinage. America was in the midst of its celebrated 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999 and continued through 2008. Each year, the U.S. Mint released 5 different quarter designs, each representing one of the 50 states. This program was designed to inspire coin collecting across the nation and became one of the most successful initiatives in U.S. Mint history. But while millions of Americans collected the state quarters for fun, few could imagine that hidden among the countless minted coins, a single Liberty Quarter from 2002 would rise to become one of the rarest and most valuable coins in existence. At first glance, the 2002 Liberty Quarter Dollar looks like any other coin. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, facing left, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 2002. On the reverse, depending on the state, one might find beautifully designed symbols representing America's diversity, from landmarks to wildlife to historical figures. But the coin we're talking about today is no ordinary state quarter. This particular Liberty Quarter, minted in 2002, carries with it a story of perfection, mystery, and perhaps even a minting anomaly that sets it apart from every other coin struck that year. The U.S. Mint produced billions of quarters during the 50-state quarters program, using advanced minting technology to ensure consistency and quality. However, no minting process is ever entirely flawless. Occasionally, due to human error, mechanical mishaps, or transitional issues between dies and planchets, rare errors can occur. These minting anomalies, such as double strikes, off-center impressions, wrong planchet errors, or die cracks, can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a collector's dream. The 2002 Liberty Quarter Dollar, that is now valued at $64 million, is believed to be one of these extraordinary anomalies, possibly struck on a unique metallic composition or produced using experimental dies. To fully appreciate why this coin has become so valuable, we need to understand the meticulous world of coin grading and rarity evaluation. Professional organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) and the Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC) are the ultimate authorities when it comes to authenticating and grading coins. They evaluate every microscopic detail: the sharpness of the strike, the luster of the metal, the presence or absence of scratches, and even the tone and color of the surface. A perfect mint state 70 ms 70 grade represents absolute perfection, a coin with no flaws visible under magnification. The 2002 Liberty Quarter that reached the astounding $64 million valuation is said to be not only in perfect condition but also unique in its characteristics. Experts believe that this specific 2002 quarter may have been struck on a special planchet, possibly a silver planchet left over from earlier commemorative coins instead of the standard copper nickel-clad material. If true, that would make it an incredibly rare transitional error, one of the most valuable in numismatic history. The coin's unusual weight, color tone, and metallic resonance are said to differ subtly from ordinary 2002 quarters, which are primarily composed of copper and nickel. Such an error could have occurred if a silver planchet from a previous minting batch was accidentally fed into the press that struck the 2002 Liberty Quarters. But rarity alone doesn't tell the whole story. The historical and symbolic significance of this coin adds another layer of intrigue. The Liberty Quarter embodies American ideals of freedom and perseverance. Every detail from Washington's determined gaze to the proud inscriptions reflects the spirit of the nation. The 2002 version represents not just one of the 50 states, but also a pivotal moment in American culture, when the State Quarters program revived public interest in coin collecting and connected generations through the simple act of saving pocket change. Collectors and investors alike were drawn to the beauty and historical depth of these quarters. But the discovery of the rare 2002 Liberty Quarter took fascination to a new level. The first time this coin surfaced, it was not in a museum or an auction house. Instead, it was found in a private collection, tucked away in an old jar that had been sitting untouched for years. When a coin expert finally examined it under magnification, they immediately noticed the difference: the sharper details, the unusual sheen, and the perfect strike quality. After certification, the coin's value skyrocketed, shocking even the most seasoned numismatists. What makes this story even more remarkable is how the market responded. Once news spread about a 2002 Liberty Quarter fetching tens of millions of dollars, collectors around the world began examining their own coins, hoping to find another like it. But to this day, only one known specimen of this particular era has been verified, making it a one-of-a-kind treasure. It became a legend almost overnight, cementing its place among the most valuable coins ever minted in the United States. The market value of coins like this is driven not just by rarity and condition but also by emotion, passion, and the allure of discovery. The 2002 Liberty Quarter has become a symbol of hidden fortune, proof that even the smallest and most ordinary-looking objects can hold unimaginable worth. Coin collectors often say that coins tell stories, and this one tells a story of human ingenuity, history, and the timeless appeal of the American dream. The 2002 Liberty Quarter also represents the peak of modern minting precision. The U.S. Mint in the early 2000s employed state-of-the-art technology, but it still relied on human oversight. That blend of human craftsmanship and machine perfection makes coins like this special. Each die used to strike coins wears down over time, creating subtle variations between early strikes and later ones. Early die-state coins often display the crispest, most detailed designs, something collectors deeply value. The 2002 Liberty Quarter in question shows all the hallmarks of an early die strike, with razor-sharp details on Washington's hair, clear definition in the inscriptions, and smooth, mirrored fields that suggest minimal handling and maximum preservation. Now let's talk about the coin's journey through the world of high-end collecting. When it first appeared at auction, the bidding was fierce. Wealthy collectors, private museums, and investors competed for the chance to own this numismatic marvel. The final sale stunned the world, closing at $64 million, setting a record that still resonates in the collecting community. To this day, it stands as one of the most expensive modern-era coins ever sold. Experts estimate that its value may continue to appreciate as interest in rare American coins grows. But beyond the market value, there's something more profound about this coin. It represents a bridge between generations of Americans. Older collectors see in it the continuation of a hobby that has been cherished for centuries, while younger collectors see hope that one day, their curiosity could lead to discovering a hidden treasure. The 2002 Liberty Quarter Dollar teaches us that value isn't just about metal or mint marks. It's about stories, history, and human connection. In the broader perspective of U.S. coinage history, the 2002 Liberty Quarter Dollar serves as a symbol of a turning point in American numismatics.